Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and some news for Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Star Wars games overall. There's been a couple of news pop-ups the last week or so that I haven't felt like covering right away, simply because I didn't really think it was any big news. But since a lot of you have asked me about it and what I think about it, I thought I'd cover it and explain why I don't think it's a big deal. And the first thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that Lucasfilm Games, as they phrase it on the Disney career website, are searching for new people to hire as different roles at Lucasfilm Games. And obviously there was a lot of people saying, oh my god, LucasArts are coming back, blah blah blah. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not what's happening here for multiple reasons really. First of all, there's like 7 or 8 roles that they list here, and that's nowhere near enough to make a dev team. You need hundreds, or at least close to that, to make their own games. And if you look at the actual roles, they don't have any developers. Like, there's no level designers, 3D artists, design directors, coders or stuff like that. So it doesn't really look like they're building a development team here. But what they are doing is expanding the Lucasfilm Games part, because the different roles you can see are stuff like producer, brand art coordinator, brand marketing coordinator, assistant producer, associate brand art director. So as you can see, it's kind of high level roles, people who will kind of oversee other people, which means that it makes a lot of sense that these are the people that will work directly with EA, with DICE, with Respawn, and if there's any other Star Wars games in the works, probably with them as well. And something that we have seen lately the last couple of months is how much Lucasfilm struggles to actually approve everything from DICE, which is really a pain. Like, we get the official image of Dooku after Dooku is already out, we get the community update video for Anakin after Anakin is out, and the community transmissions keep getting delayed. And that's not because of DICE, but that's because of the approvals taking so long. So I'm hoping that at least some of these people will work with those approvals, and that maybe you will get like a specific queue for the games part, because something that Jay said out in a comment a few weeks ago vaguely was something along the lines of, oh, imagine you had a big theme park and a movie and comics that you all had to approve at the same time, which kind of made it sound like obviously the same people approve all of that, and some things they seem to prioritize over others. Although all of the stuff that keeps getting delayed for Battlefront are things that are very time sensitive. It does hurt the game to release stuff late. I understand maybe not getting it super early, but if there is something like a community update video or official art, you should release it either at the same time as the actual update or earlier. Especially something like art, which obviously just hypes it up. And for trailers, it does make sense to sometimes release it at the same time, so people can see the trailer and go, oh, I can go in and play right now. But like I said, the Anakin community update was delayed. So again, that's just what I'm hoping that these people will work with directly with the approvals. And actually, if you look at, for instance, at the producer role, it does say the producer will be a highly motivated individual responsible for managing the review and approval of interactive products that incorporate Lucasfilm's IP. And then they list basically all the platforms available: AR, VR, mobile, console, PC, and so on, which again shows that this is hopefully exactly what we need, or they need, to make sure that we don't have these massive delays for different approvals and similarly. But I wanted to bring up these roles nevertheless, and I think it's simply people who are gonna work locally at Lucasfilm Games towards basically all the other games being worked on by EA, Respawn, DICE, and so on. Because obviously they need some people on location there who knows how games work and who can do the kind of overall stuff. But I don't think that LucasArts are coming back. I really don't, because like I said, there's no development roles here, but it's kind of higher level roles who will basically handle people developing the game, if that makes sense. And then moving on, I wanted to quickly bring up that, well, CJ and Guillaume dropped into my stream yesterday and clarified a couple of things regarding stuff coming up. Obviously, they can't say too much until the official community transmissions are out, but CJ did clarify a couple of things regarding the dual-wielding on the ARC Trooper, where he said that you will actually be able to fire them independently, the two blasters, something that community transmission said, but they will also have their individual triggers and you will not be able to zoom. So what I get from that is that instead of aiming down sight with a right click on a mouse, you will basically be firing your second blaster with that click, which makes a lot of sense, since that's usually how games handle Dual-Wielding. And on top of that, they will also be sharing the same kind of overheat bar, if you know what I mean. Realistically, they shouldn't, but gameplay-wise, they should. Because if they had their individual bar, both the two blasters, I don't even know how that could be handled, to be honest. You would need 2 individual cooling buttons. It would look not very good with the UI. So the fact that they have a shared overheat bar, that does make a lot of sense. And they did also say that the BX droid's melee, it does less damage than Phasma's, but it is faster. So hopefully it will be pretty good. And lastly, Ben also did say out on Twitter that, fun fact, we did a prototype but decided to focus on the Clone Wars heroes and new game mode instead, which was in regards to a Battlefront Battle Royale. And I don't really think there's too much to take away from this. They prototype a lot of stuff, and this was probably like a year ago now, or a little bit later, considering this was before they decided to focus on the Clone Wars stuff, which they announced at June last year. So it doesn't really mean anything for now, if you know what I mean, and I highly doubt they're gonna bring that prototype back up, because now they've released Apex, they're releasing Firestorm very soon, so a Battlefront Battle Royale could probably work, but I don't think it's the best idea, and I think that's probably what they realized. I mean, if they would have said, oh, we're not doing a large-scale game mode, we're doing Battle Royale instead, that would not have gone down very well, as you can probably imagine. So yeah, I just wanted to bring it up, but I don't really think it means anything for the future of the game. It was just something they prototyped back before they decided to go for the Clone Wars heroes and the new Titan mode. Well, Titan mode seems to be the work in progress name. Hopefully, maybe even later today, or at least tomorrow or Friday, we should know what it's actually called and how it works out. But that's all I've got for you now. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.